Anger is loud. Anger explains itself. Anger gives the other person something to push against. Indifference does none of that. And that's exactly why it's devastating. This story doesn't start with rage or revenge. It starts with silence, the kind that feels calm on the outside and unsettling on the inside. You see, most people believe anger is power. They think raising their voice, sending long texts, or demanding closure is how you prove you mattered. But the truth is simpler and colder. Nothing unsettles someone more than realizing they no longer control your emotional state. That's unbothered power. Once, there was a man who used to react to everything. If she pulled away, he chased. If she criticized, he defended. If she ignored, he exploded inside, sometimes outside too. Every reaction was proof that she mattered. Every argument was oxygen. Then one day, something changed. Not because he learned a trick, not because he watched a video, but because he finally got tired. Tired of explaining himself to people committed to misunderstanding him. Tired of proving his value to those who benefited from doubting it. Tired of handing emotional power to anyone who knew how to push his buttons. So he stopped reacting. Not dramatically, not with announcements. He just went quiet. And that quiet did more damage than any argument ever could. Here's why indifference hurts more than anger. Anger says, "You still affect me." Indifference says, "You no longer exist in my emotional world." Anger keeps the connection alive even if it's toxic. Indifference severs the cord completely. When you're angry, the other person still has relevance. When you're unbothered, they lose their role. And for the human ego, irrelevance is worse than rejection. Think about it. When someone gets angry, the other person can say, "They're emotional, they're overreacting, they still care." But when someone stays calm, detached, unmoved, there's no label to hide behind, no drama to blame, no reaction to control, just a mirror reflecting a terrifying possibility. I don't matter like I thought I did. That realization eats people alive. Unbothered power isn't about pretending you don't feel. It's about choosing where your feelings go. Strong people don't suppress emotions. They simply refuse to perform them for unworthy audiences. They understand something most people don't. Every emotional reaction is a form of investment. Anger invests energy. Arguments invest attention. Explaining invests time. Indifference withdraws all of it. And nothing scares people more than losing access. In American culture, we glorify confrontation. Speak your truth. Tell them how you feel. Never let them get away with it. But there's a quieter truth we rarely talk about. Not everything deserves a response. Some people don't want resolution. They want reaction. They don't want understanding. They want leverage. And the moment you stop giving it to them, the moment you stop feeding the dynamic, the balance of power shifts. Not because you dominated them, but because you disappeared from the game. This is why indifference feels cruel to those who once controlled you. They can handle your anger. They can manage your sadness. They can even exploit your love. What they can't handle is your calm, because calm signals self-sufficiency. It says, "I don't need you to validate me. I don't need you to explain yourself. I don't need to win this." And that's devastating to anyone who thrived on emotional chaos. But let's be clear. Unbothered power is not coldness. It's not silent treatment. It's not manipulation. Those are still reactions. True indifference is internal. It's when your nervous system no longer spikes at their name. When their behavior doesn't hijack your day. When their opinions no longer echo in your head. It's when peace becomes more valuable than being understood. And that kind of peace is earned, not faked. Here's the paradox. The more emotionally unavailable you become to nonsense, the more emotionally magnetic you become to healthy people. Because calm is rare, stability is rare, self-control is rare. In a world addicted to drama, the unbothered stand out. They don't rush to explain. They don't chase closure. They don't beg to be chosen. They choose themselves quietly. At some point, the man from earlier realized something else. The people who complained about his distance were the same ones who benefited from his reactions. They didn't miss him. They missed access. Access to his emotions. Access to his time. Access to his energy. So he didn't argue. He just kept living. And that, more than anything, drove them crazy. This is the final truth. Anger keeps you tied to the past. Indifference frees you from it. Anger demands justice. Indifference creates distance. Anger says, "You hurt me." Indifference says nothing and walks away. And in that silence is power. Not loud power, not aggressive power, but the kind that can't be shaken. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that leaves others wondering, how did I lose control without a fight? That's unbothered power. And once you embody it, you never need to raise your voice again.